shut down VA healthcare forever. That flawed, but in a great many ways remarkably successful system of single-payer, lifelong, socialized medicine for vets. Yes, that's it. And the other thing to think about is once that health care goes, watch out for the rest of your veterans' benefits. Because all of these, the Kochs have been at this for 40 years, and the changes have been very incremental. But you will notice that they are accelerating at a dramatic rate in the last 8 years. And why would an organization of veterans want to utterly destroy the VA? Well, you have to ask in order to find out exactly whose freedom and prosperity they are defending. Veterans will have complete freedom to try to find health care on their own. But the prosperity, well, that turns out to belong to the prosperous and ever-present Koch brothers and their cronies. That fact that Concerned Veterans for America is a Koch brothers front became public knowledge only in this past year or so. And people have paid very little attention to it. It was their front man, a veteran named Peter Hegseth, whom you may have seen peddling the Koch's economic theories on Fox News, who gave the game away. He got a little too big for his britches. Like those Pain Foundation doctors who became big experts, Peter Hegseth also had become an expert and TV talking head until he blew his own cover and lost his job. But the organization, Concerned Veterans for America, carries on without missing a beat and working to change the hearts and minds of Congress. Here's the scary part. They succeed. Every U.S. administration from the very beginning at Plymouth Plantation and the Continental Congress has regarded the care of veterans as the sacred trust and duty of government. The notion of privatizing even some part of veterans' health care by giving veterans a card to use for private care was first suggested only 8 years ago by John McCain. And most of the legitimate veterans organizations immediately opposed the idea, citing McCain's long record of voting in opposition to funding the VA. 4 years ago, Mitt Romney mentioned the same idea and got the same response. That's when the Koch brothers and their network of donors changed their strategy. They had invested $400 million in the 2012 elections and lost the presidency. So they turned their attention to the states and localities. And that's when they set up, in secret, Concerned Veterans for America. And who knows, I don't know and you don't know, how many other phony front organizations, even veterans front organizations, they've established to peddle their cutthroat capitalist ideology and make it the law of the land. That same year, 2014, President Obama signed into law the Veterans Access to Care Through Choice, Accountability, and Transparency Act. You kind of wonder who makes these things up. Again, who wouldn't vote for a bill with a name like that? As you may know, this bill singled out certain veterans who lived too far from a VA hospital or had to wait too long for an appointment and gave them that magic choice card, entitling them to see a private doctor of their own choosing. lucky fellows and girls. John McCain had designed this bill, but now it was a bipartisan effort, officially introduced by the Democratic senator who chaired the Senate Committee on Veterans Affairs, that notorious socialist, Bernie Sanders. Sanders said it was not the bill he would have written, but he thought it was a step ahead in cutting wait times for veterans' health care. It appears that Bernie Sanders fell victim to the very thing I'm trying to warn you against. That is, standing up for the most obvious goal and missing what's really going on. Keep swinging at the sucker pitch like that, and you lose the game. The bill passed with an overwhelming majority, 93-3, and so an idea and a policy unthinkable only 2 years earlier became law. How could that happen? We know that there were grounds for improvement at the VA, that it had been consistently underfunded. We know the wait times for appointments were notoriously bad. The Phoenix VA and McCain's home state had been caught falsifying records to cover that up. This bill appeared on the surface to be aimed at cutting those wait times. And besides, as McCain's own website proudly notes, the bill and its hallmark choice card received praise and no doubt support from veterans advocacy organizations such as Concerned Veterans for America. They don't mention any other organizations here, which doesn't mean that they don't have others waiting in the wings for the next go-round. And as a couple of you told me today, in your home states, there are now ongoing radio, television, newspaper advertising campaigns for this wonderful new way in which we're going to ensure that all our veterans get nothing but the best treatment. As it turned out, the choice card actually complicated the process of getting treatment and slowed it down.
Right.
It also screwed up the record keeping. Nevertheless, last April, noting that the choice card legislation could expire in a year, McCain, together with 7 other Republican senators, including Ted Cruz, introduced, you'll love this one, the Care Veterans Deserve Act. A bill to, quote, enhance choice and flexibility in veterans' health care by making the choice card permanently and universally available to all disabled and other unspecified vets. That could mean everyone. You see where this is going, and you see where it could end. Meanwhile, back in the greater Middle East, American troops continue to serve, though wars are officially over. In Afghanistan, I know for Afghans, things are as bad as they have ever been, and my colleagues report the same is true of Iraq. And all the while, American veterans come home, dead, wounded, and otherwise. Which means that you veterans for peace have an endless job.
That's right.
I know you already know that, but I'm not sure any of us can really fully grasp the magnitude of the unscrupulous forces that we're all up against now. They remain in the shadows and leave us working on behalf of things that at best are a distraction and at worst serve the purposes of these profiteering plutocrats who seem to believe that the land you fought for rightfully belongs to them. I know I was supposed to, as the banquet speaker, provide a little hope this evening. Especially as, dare I say it, hope was in rather short supply. Last evening, no offense. Okay. Here's the hope part. I hope that I have pissed you off.
Yeah. All right.
Because when I think about those wounded soldiers that I came home with on those medevac planes from Afghanistan and from Germany.
You turned it off.
Oops.
Pull it and turn the switch on. Pull it out. Take it out.
Of the dreadfully disabled or troubled vets that I met, choice card in hand, looking on his or own for a hometown doctor, it sickens me.
Yeah.
You heard Andy, right? I just want to close by saying that I know that investigative reporters are going to keep on these stories because what has come to light so far is just the very surface, and there's much more to be done. But we have to continue to connect the dots, make these connections, and find out what we're up against, because so much of this is still in the shadows, in secret. And you, as a veterans organization, are so much a target for their use in exploiting not just you, but all the citizens. I'm counting on you to take a stand against these profiteering exploiters of veterans and civilians alike. You work for justice for veterans. These guys are the robbers of our public treasury and the engineers of our wars. They are the destroyers of peace abroad and peace at home.
Amen. Yeah.
And justice doesn't even come into it. As veterans of a smart and we hope powerful veterans organizations, you have a job to do. Because these guys are the thieves of our democracy and we all want our democracy back. So please, stand up and let them know that the America you fought for is not for sale. Thank you.
amazing work and continued work on our behalf and other veterans in this country. We want to give her this plaque, which made, as we heard earlier, Vietnam. And I would say we kind of like to call ourselves the junkyard dogs of this culture, latching on to the cuffs militarists. Cam Jones has joined us in that work. Thank you.